Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Joseph Reacts here, and in today's video, I will be reacting to TikTok GuyLiner Makeup Tutorial by James Charles. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you know that I do dabble in makeup, and I do enjoy doing it on my own free time. However, I have to admit, I am not personally good at eyeliner, like many of us probably aren't. So I'm actually super interested in seeing this video from James because maybe he can show me a thing or two about how to perfect my eyeliner. So without further ado, let's get right into this video.
Hi sisters, James Charles here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Or for today's video, should I actually say hi brothers? Because this video is going to be for the boys. Kind of. Let me explain myself. Recently on TikTok there has been a huge trend of guys trying out eyeliner and makeup for the first time, which I think is so beyond cool. As it's becoming more and more popular for guys to try out makeup for the first time, I've definitely noticed an increase in my guy followers on social media, which is super exciting. But my channel isn't exactly beginner makeup friendly. I mean, let's be real. I do full coverage makeup looks, rainbow cut creases, drag looks all the time, which I love doing. But I've been getting so many questions and comments recently from different guys
freaking talented.
Makeup for the first time, and of course they want to know how to do it well. So for today's video, I thought it would be super fun to go back to the basics and do a very simple guy liner or just boy makeup tutorial. Of course, this video isn't necessarily just for boys. No matter what you identify as, I encourage you to watch and enjoy the video. This is definitely going to be the perfect video to start you off into your makeup journey. All right, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
Period. Yeah, some of those guys had.
Alright, you guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on this super
eyeliner.
easy beginner makeup tutorial. And before we put any products on our face, the first thing that I'm gonna do is go ahead and moisturize. Now, you can use any brand of moisturizer that you want. Personally, my favorite is the Tatcha Water Cream, but this is very pricey. So honestly, if you're a beginner, unless you want to splurge, I would not necessarily recommend this one. Basically, any moisturizer will do, but I really think skincare is so beyond important.
Oh, that's good. He has alternatives at the bottom.
What my skincare regimen is. I honestly don't use that many products. I like to keep it very simple, and this moisturizer is definitely like my #1 necessity. I moisturize usually twice a day, in the morning and the night, and it is just really important to keep your skin healthy, hydrated, and smooth. And I promise you, it'll make you look literally a million times better because it gives you a natural, radiant glow. And I don't even know, it's just moisturize. Dry skin, it definitely sucks. It can be really itchy. It can be uncomfortable. It gets red. And then also, when your face doesn't have enough moisture or hydration in it, it's naturally going to want to create oils to help your skin, but those oils can clog your pores and create pimples. So just overall, moisturizing is definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys, so for today's video, I'm going to skip out on foundation. I have a million other makeup tutorials if you guys want to see that. But the one step that I do want to teach you guys about is concealer. Now, I'm talking about just super simple light cover-up because I get so many questions from guys on a daily basis saying, James, I have a pimple or I have a birthmark that I want to get rid of, but I don't want to look like I'm wearing a ton of makeup. And this is something that we can definitely all relate to. So I definitely want to help you guys out. Now, for this video, since we are doing a boy makeup tutorial, you guys always hear Lewis behind the camera, so I thought I would pull him in. And yeah, come on.
Actually doing this?
Yeah.
Oh, do I have to make a grand entrance?
Yeah. Why did you do that?
I thought it was a good entrance.
So, we're gonna work on a little bit of concealer.
Oh, I thought Lewis was his other friend.
I'm so scared of this right now.
You've been working for me for almost 2 years now. You also live with me, and you've been filming my videos for a very long time, so you're definitely very familiar with the makeup process, but you are a straight man and you do not wear makeup yourself.
All true facts, yes. I am a straight male, but I do have a lot of questions about concealer personally.
Really?
I haven't had the best luck with my skin all the time, and especially with the mask with COVID, it has been awful, especially like here down. I think my biggest question, which I think a lot of other people will want to know, is how do I know my shape?
Yeah, typically in regular glam makeup, you will use a foundation that is your perfect match and then a concealer that's a little bit lighter. However, if you're going for makeup and just trying to cover something up, you do want a concealer that has the perfect match to you.
Okay.
So you're not going to look for something lighter in this case. I have a few different concealers here. I described some different shades of Tarte Shape Tape, which is personally my favorite concealer that I use all the time. But once again, anything works. If you're a beginner makeup artist, you might want to try something like Maybelline has the Age Rewind one, and then also just the other ones at the drugstore, which are super cheap. So if you're going to try it out, obviously, you don't need anything crazy. I have a few different shades, and I'm basically just going to do a little bit of a swatch
I've used Tarte
face to show you guys how to do undertones.
What's my undertone?
You have yellow undertones. It's yellowy olive undertones.
I'm definitely an olive.
Okay, so if you guys see this swatch
Same,
of Lewis's face is
sis. I
obviously
look like an
way too light
olive.
for his skin tone, so we're gonna put that one aside. This one is light, medium, beige. This is also a thing too, you know, makeup stores, they usually do have swatches and testers where you can actually try things out on your skin, which of course you should sanitize, be careful of, and you can test it out on your skin tone and see which color matches you best. Oh, this one, okay. So this one is light neutral, which has a little bit more of a yellow undertone, and that's most likely gonna be, probably a mix of these is gonna be where we end up. I'm basically just gonna put a little tiny dot right over top of any red marks or pimples, just like this.
You just go.
And I'm not using a lot at all, just literally the tiniest little bit to cover it up. So it's gonna look like that, which looks crazy right now, okay? Now the one mistake that people make whenever they're putting on concealer or just trying to cover something up is they'll grab like a beauty sponge or something and just start blending it right out, which yes, is what a beauty sponge is for, but when you have a pimple and you're trying to cover it up, the best thing to actually do is blend around it, not blend on top of it, because concealer is obviously full coverage. The point of it is to cover it up, but if you go in and you just start blending it out, it's gonna basically disperse all of that product evenly, whereas you want the edges to fade away so it looks like your natural skin, but you still want that coverage in the main.
I don't have pimples, so I don't have to worry about that, but
so if you just grab a tiny little like pencil brush, just like that, just something small and rounded, you can actually go in just like this, basically lightly feather out the edges. You can even use your finger if you're really gentle as well. It's a little bit harder for me since I have nails, but obviously if you're a guy watching this, feel free to just tap it in. Like I said, you probably don't need a lot. I would definitely recommend finding something that is very, very full coverage and then using it very,
it blends it into his skin really good.
It's lighter coverage and building it up, because that's gonna obviously just look a little bit cakier.
Wow, I'm learning so much.
See, there you go.
That is good. Wait, that is so good.
Yeah, so you can barely even tell it's there.
That is insane.
Now, if you really, really want to, and you have a beauty sponge lying around, you could always just add a little bit of extra concealer on the back of your hand and just dip in and really pounce it in there. And then you can go in on any areas like around it. Once again, keeping it very, very, very light coverage, but this can kind of just help add an extra layer of coverage and also just blend out any edges that may have looked a little bit rough. Okay, get out of here.
Gladly.
Alright, you guys, I hope those concealer tricks helped you out a little bit. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next step, which is going to be using a brow pencil for actually a few different things. Now, brows are really, really important. They frame your face, and I promise you, whoever you are out there, whatever you identify as, a good, tailored, well-kept brow makes you a million times hotter. If you want to get your brows done for the first time, I would definitely recommend going to a professional or having somebody in your life that has amazing brows do them
so
for
bad.
you.
I can't believe he
Reference
thought
photo
that
as
was
well
good
for
back in the
brows that
day.
I'm going for. That way they can best replicate it and give you
But
the
hey.
style that you want as well. But I do want to show you some really great tips and tricks that you can use with a brow pencil. I'm going to grab my Anastasia brow definer in the shade Ebony. And the first thing that I'm going to do is actually not on my eyebrows. It's actually going to be on my hairline. Now, bear with me for a quick second here. A lot of guys worry about their hairlines. Now, there are some barbers that will give you a good lineup and clean it up and color it in, which I think is super, super cool. A lot of guys, you know, have different techniques to fill it in. But I really wanted to show you guys a super easy way to do it with makeup that washes off at the end of the day. Basically, all you're going to do for this is find a brow pencil that matches your hair perfectly. For me, I'm using Ebony, which is pretty much black. I would never ever use that on my eyebrows, but obviously my hair is very, very dark, so this helps blend it in very well. All I'm going to do is twist it up, and then for me, on my hairline, one thing that I love to do is basically square off this area right here. Now, what you don't want to do is just start going in and like coloring it in, because obviously that looks absolutely crazy.
It looked like hair actually on the camera.
And I'm going to start very, very lightly, just drawing in super, super tiny hair stroke. Once again, don't get too crazy. Don't start like scraping it on your head. Just keep your pressure very, very light and draw as tiny of lines as you can. That way it looks as realistic as
I've
possible.
never
Once you get the first layer on there, it should look a little bit like this, which definitely looks really, really good. But if you notice on camera, there is kind of like an obvious line where the color is just a little bit lighter than my natural hair. Obviously gets darker up in here. So beforehand I told you to keep your pressure really, really light, but now is the time where you get to, you know, just unleash your inner strength and really, quite honestly, scrape it on there. And I'm basically just going to start in like the middle of the area that I started drawing in. So not at the edge, because this is where you want to keep it light, but keeping it a little bit harder and blending that right in together.
More in,
so that way it fades nicely from light to dark.
I didn't know he did that, or was like self-conscious about that.
Make sure the pencil is nice and blended, just like that. And now you can see it looks like honestly real hair. I do this all the time right here as well because I have a weird like divot up here. I have no idea why. Probably from far too many years of pulling it back with a man bun. Same thing on the other side. Actually, Lewis, will you come back for one quick second? Come here. Aside from just your hairline as well, welcome back, Lewis. This is also a really great technique that you guys can do on your beards if you have any facial hair. I do not have any to demonstrate on today, but Lewis has a beautiful, luscious beard. The same exact technique will work with a brow pencil. But see, just like that, that literally took me
That's a good beard.
10 seconds to fill in, and now it already looks like, see? One side, other side.
It looks the same to me.
No.
I mean, you really
Sorry.
wouldn't. Like, it looks very, very real. 30 seconds
Same.
maximum to do. That's something that is super, super easy to do
For
in the
me.
morning before you go to work or before you
To
go to
me,
school,
I mean.
college, to hang out with your friends, whatever it may be. Filling that stuff in can be a major, major confidence booster. I do it on my hairline, like I said, all the time. I know a lot of my friends that have beards do it on their beard as well. A lot of barbers do it, so it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah,
Everyone goes
no.
with different hair patterns.
You should never be
It's gonna
ashamed
really,
for
really
doing
great, easy,
something that
easy
makes you
to
confident in your
easy to
body.
and just keep those
Okay?
lines looking nice and sharp and defined. All right, you guys, now that our brows and skin are all completed, it is time to move on to the part that you have all been waiting for, the GuyLiner tutorial.
Yes,
If you
I'm
made it this far into
gonna
the video,
take
and you're excited
notes,
about the
okay?
eyeliner, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up down below. I've been getting so many requests for this, and I really hope that this video is helpful for you guys. Now, when it
I
comes
just
to
wanna know
eyeliner,
what-
there are a few different ways that you guys can do it, and I'm going to show you all three. I'm going to show you guys how to do it using eyeshadow, and of course, I'm going to use the James Charles palette. I'm also going to show you guys how to do it using a pencil eyeliner, and finally, I'm going to show you guys how to do it using a marker eyeliner as well. Okay, so the first
Yeah,
technique
I
that I'm
want
going to show
a
you guys how to do
marker.
today is basic eyeliner using an eyeliner pencil. This one is from Urban Decay, but once again, anything will work. You can find super, super cheap black eyeliner pencils at the drugstore for like $1, $2 max, so anything will pretty much work. What you are going to want to do, however, is make sure that it is freshly sharpened. I just sharpened mine, as you guys can see. Eyeliner is definitely one of the hardest steps of a makeup routine, no matter if you're a boy or a girl or anybody that identifies in between. The one mistake that I see a lot of people making when it comes to eyeliner is the direction and shape in which people draw it. The one thing that I really want to teach you guys is that the eyeliner should basically follow your eyeball. So if you guys look at my eye just like this, basically you're just going to imagine that this like line right here, your lower lash line, just continues
all the way up.
and it's just extending, you're just extending that line. So I'm just grabbing my pencil and I'm putting my finger out here just like this, just so my hand is steady. I see a lot of different guys like fully pulling their eye like this to get it, you know, on there. You don't need to do that. And I'm just going to really, really lightly with that pencil, continue that line up. Now see how if I look to the side, this line basically looks like it's just extending upwards. Instead of placing my pencil back at the tip, I'm actually going to start my pencil pretty much halfway through the liner. And I'm basically just going to draw a very, very careful line from the middle of my eyeliner to the corner of my lid. See how since I didn't put my pencil at the tip, now we have this very, very nice and defined sharp tip, and then it gets thicker.
Okay, that's so easy.
That's the shape that we want to go for. I'm just going to go back in and very, very lightly fill this
Fill
little
it in,
triangle that we
sweetie.
created.
And look
Now,
how...
at this point, if you want to, you can of course take your eyeliner pencil and go all the way across your eyelid to the inner corner. Personally, I don't love that look, so I'm going to skip out on that today. If you look upward into the mirror, you can place that eyeliner in your upper waterline, just like this, and that'll help get rid of that like skin tone gap, but that is definitely a hard technique and you don't have to do that. If it doesn't look just like this on your first try it, please don't worry. This stuff is very, very challenging. So make sure you keep practicing and keep
He's so
practicing.
supportive.
I've been seeing a lot of people
I
doing
love
a
him.
sharp eyeliner look just like this, which I think looks super, super cute. But I've also been seeing a lot of different guys doing a more smudged look, which I think is really, really cool as
Love
well.
that.
So if you want
I'm
to do
more of a
that,
smudged
basically
guy.
You can still keep it the way that it is now, but I'm just going to go back into my pencil and just add a little bit more black underneath the eye. Now I'm just going to keep this black focused in my outer kind of corner of the eyeball. I'm not going to go all the way in because once again, I don't want to close up my eye. But basically, I'm just continuing that line that we already drew downwards and just adding it in just like that. And then with a little
Yeah, it looks really good.
anything like this, super small and just fluffy and round. I'm basically gonna go in and just start blending this black out a little bit. All right, you guys, so super, super easy. We use an eyeliner pencil and then smudge it out to create this, you know, grungy winged look, which I think looks amazing. I'm gonna do it again on this eye as well, but I'm gonna keep it a little bit smaller, just for more simplicity.
So good. He makes me want to go do my
Just like that.
eyeliner
Once
right
again, keep that
now.
wing tiny. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, that looks, I shouldn't, oh my god. Okay, for the sake of the video, I honestly wish that I didn't even blend out the good liner and I just did it like this because this looks a million times better. If you want to go for the smudged look, I would just say draw on a tiny little line and then blend it out because this looks a lot better than this. All right, you guys, so if you don't have an eyeliner pencil or you want to do a different technique, the next thing I'm going to show you guys how to do eyeliner using an eyeshadow palette. Of course, I'm going to be using the Morphe X James Charles eyeshadow palette, but pretty much anything will do that has black, browns, or once again, if you want a fun pop of color, rainbows as well. And for my brush, I'm just going to use a small little angled brush just like this. Now this also says spoolie on the end, so technically this is a brow brush, but this is a really, really easy brush to do a super simple eyeliner with. I'm going to teach you guys how to do a brown liner because that's personally my favorite thing to do. I'm just going to grab my angled brush just like this, and I'm going to dip into this brown shade that's in the top right-hand corner of the palette. And I'm just going to tap off any excess because you don't want it to be crazy. Whenever you're holding a mirror or with a palette, all you have to do is hold the palette below you and then look down into the palette. palette. That way you have full access to your eyelids. You can see it really, really easily.
Everything.
But there's no stretching, there's no pulling, and you don't have to go crazy. And then same exact technique as the pencil. I'm just going to imagine that this line of my eyelid extends, and I'm just going to stamp it right on there, creating a nice little V shape. And then once again, not starting all the way at the tip, but starting about halfway in. I'm just holding my pencil horizontally this time, and I'm going to just drag the shadow right in onto my eyelid, creating a line right across, just like that. Now, if you have any mistakes, you can just grab a simple makeup wipe, and since you have no foundation on, you can literally just go right up against it and just wipe it away, just like that. See how sharp and perfect that looks? And we did that with eyeshadow in like 4 seconds. It's so simple, you guys. We'll do the same thing on the other side.
He's so supportive. Go, sister.
Super tiny line. See how cool that looks? Even if I just look forward. Just super, it's so easy, but it really does change your entire eye shape because it just makes it look pulled and lifted and looks really, really good. One thing that I've been seeing a lot of people doing as well is adding a fun pop of color, or even just like a red underneath the eyes to look a little bit more grungy, which I think is a really, really fun addition. Basically, you take your finger, I know, with literally any color. I'm just gonna grab this maroon one just for the sake of that like grungy type of look. Literally just taking that shadow and using my finger and rubbing it right up against the eye, creates that like tired, busted eye look that a lot of people are going for. Personally, not my favorite, but that's how you do it. If you wanted to as well, you can even do that same type of technique on the upper lid, literally just grabbing any color and just smudging it along the eye look. I feel like does look really, really cool if you're going for that type of aesthetic. Once again, not my favorite thing in the entire world, but if you want to go for that grungy aesthetic, that's literally how you do it. It's like ridiculously easy. Just smudge it on there. Okay, you guys, so finally, last but not least, GuyLiner using a liquid liner. Now, I will definitely give you a heads up. This is by far the hardest of the 3 techniques and the most unforgiving as well. This is definitely the product that you're going to want to use if you want to get a super sharp and defined wing, or even add on some fun shapes and graphic liner as well for that very e-boy GuyLiner type of look. Now, for this video today, I'm just going to use the NYX Epic Ink Liner. You can find this at any drugstore. I think it's literally like $6, so super easy, super affordable if you want to get into this. I'm going to hold my marker.
I'll remember that, because I was wondering what line.
Very carefully draw a very, very thin line upwards. See how tiny and thin that is? It's really, really easy for drawing eyeliner to press too hard and just draw with a super thick line like that, which is the absolute last thing that you want. So be careful, be gentle, and try to keep a steady hand so you get a very, very thin.
Ooh, I feel so sorry. He's tugging on his face so much.
That wing, and just sketch in a tiny little line, connecting it right back to your eyelid, just like that. And that is a super, super simple eyeliner point. This is pretty much just like the base, and then you can pretty much go up crazy. One thing that I've been seeing a lot of different people doing is adding on a little tiny wing going the opposite direction on the lower lash line, which kind of almost looks like anime style lashes, which I think is so, so cool. So literally all you do is just in this little corner where your wing meets your bottom lash line, you're just gonna draw in another tiny little line, just like this, and then draw it right back up to your lash line again and fill it in, just creating a tiny little triangle. And that creates that super, super cute little anime style lash. You can even add another one if you wanted to. I've seen a lot of people doing
2.
Just like that. That is so cute. Honestly, love her. If you wanted to, you could
I
add
love
a
her.
little line in the eyelid crease, just like this. Oh, well, honestly, that kind of looks bad. Regardless, the whole point of this video, I think this is a good point to end it off, is that it's okay to experiment and try new things. Makeup is all about expressing yourself, trying new things, and most importantly, making you feel confident. I encourage you guys to practice and try new things, whether it be a more complicated graphic liner like this, or a super, super simple eyeshadow little wing to make you feel beautiful, or a fun pop of color to see if anything really sticks and you have fun while doing it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video and learned a few helpful tips.
Yeah, I love him.
Or just super simple makeup.
So supportive.
Doing it, and I really hope that this video is helpful for anybody who wants to try it out for the first time. If you did enjoy it, please give it a big thumbs up down below to show your love and support.
Thank you, James. I'll end it on there. I know you probably guys don't want to watch the ending half of his video, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video with me. I watch these videos for my own personal enjoyment because I genuinely love James Charles, but now that I have a reaction channel, I figured I should record myself while I watch them. So sorry if I didn't say much. I was just really watching for my own personal benefit as well. So I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video as well, and I hope you enjoyed my reaction to it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.